New Generation Africa. My name is AK Emmanuel Ikechigu, and I am your friend on paper. So today on this show, we are going to be talking about 3 strategies to help you bag an A on each of your exam courses. Now, I know you're going to be interested in this as a student. As a student, you want to bag all A's, right? Or your target is to make A's and B's in all your papers. Now, what if I share this strategy with you? What if I told you that these are the things you have to do? The secret I want to reveal to you now that will help you to ensure that all of your courses you have an A, A, A. You just hit A throughout. Now, I know you're really interested. You're going to do something. Down there, click on the like button, okay? Then make sure you subscribe and tell others to watch this video. You are going to do so much to help others when you share this video with them. So share the video, like it, and subscribe to this channel. Okay, we're going to be moving 3 steps and 3 strategies to make an A in all of your courses. So step number 1, study before time. Now you see, a lot of students have this problem of not studying while lectures go on. Like during school session, they usually don't study until it is time for exams and tests. Now you find out that a lot of times they hurry their study. They don't study in depth before the exams. They just want to read through the pages, flip through the pages until they are done. They enter the exam halls. Now that is not good. If you are used to this, please and please, I am begging you to stop it. It would not help you in any way. Okay, so what are you supposed to do as a student when the semester or the academic semester, yes, or term is still in session? What you have to do is this: take time. It could be 1 hour a day, it could be 2 hours a day, depending on your capacity. Take time to study in bits. Study your courses little by little. You could create a timetable for yourself. So for example, you have in a week, you could dedicate 3 times a week, depending on the courses, the number of courses you offer. You could have it on a daily basis. It depends on you. But let's just assume you offer 7 courses. Let's assume you offer 7 courses, and in a week you map out 1 day every day. Like on a daily basis, you treat 1 course. Now, even if you treat that course for just an hour, on the first day you take MTH, mathematics, the next day you take English, and then the next day, maybe on Wednesday, you take any of your departmental courses. I am studying mechanical engineering, so I could use some of my courses. So I could decide to take math on the first day on Monday, English on Tuesday, Wednesday I will take fluid mechanics, Thursday I could take engineering design, on Friday I could take foundry technologies, Saturday I could decide to take perhaps any other course, right? So the bottom line here is this: you are doing it consistently. You do it the first day, you do it the second day, and the third day you're doing it. So that repetitive process helps your brain to adapt to the course. Okay, so whatever you are reading sticks with you, it sticks in your head. So you see, this is very advantageous. Now a lot of people might be saying, oh well, for me, what works for me is that I read some days the exam and I write perfectly. Yes, different people differ. Your brain you could have a very retentive memory that can just magnet what you look on paper, what you see on paper, and then go and deliver it in the examination hall. Fine, that's good for you. But not everybody's like that. You see, not everybody's like that. So what you have to do is, no matter your brain type, this method is very effective. Map out timetable for yourself where you study in bits, study little by little. So study it consistently, and it is very effective for any brain type. Even if you think you're a dullard, my brother, my sister, even if you think you're a dullard, just do this, practice it. You find out that before the end of the semester, you are very good with that course. You are very good with that course. So I want you to do this. And again, in doing this, you have to consider your favorite time of study. Know yourself. Now, some persons like studying at night. Fine. Why there are other persons that study during the day. Someone like me, I prefer studying during the day, but if I did not have chance to do that, I will make sure that before I sleep I study, because Once I close my eyes to sleep, sorry, I'm waking up the next morning. So you see, I have understood myself, and so I find it. I find out time. I find time. I'll try to make out time to study during the day. So let's say lectures closes by 5 in the evening. I could just have a 1 hour break, and then by 7 o'clock till whenever I could study, so that once I sleep, I'm waking up the next day to start a new activity. So you find out that on a daily basis, it makes me study on a daily basis. Now, that's for that. I'm not, you just have to plan yourself. I'm not saying you should take or you should stick to what I do. Okay, my timing could be different from your timing. Your friend's timing or style of study could be different from yours. So know what works for you, and that's the truth. That's the basic. Know what works for you. Okay, we're going to be moving to step or strategy number two. Now, strategy number two is this: practice with past questions. Use past questions to study. Now, I attended a an academic seminar some time ago, and the man who was taking it, the speaker, he's a pastor actually. So he quoted the book of Daniel chapter 1 verse 17, I think. Yeah, Daniel chapter 1 verse 17, where he said they were gifted, that Daniel and his friends were gifted in knowledge and skill. Knowledge and skill. So they were gifted in knowledge, they were gifted in skill, and because of that, they were 10 times better than their peers. Now, let's relate this to us right now. You want to go for, as a student, right? You are writing an examination. Do you know that you need not just the knowledge, you also need the skill to be able to pass with flying colors, to be able to have A's in your courses? Now, what do I mean by that? You see, a lot of persons will go to class, they acquire knowledge, yes. Go to class on Monday, go to class on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Throughout the semester, you have been going to classes, you've been reading books and all that. But not everybody knows how to answer questions, people, but you don't have the skills. You can't bag an A. Now, having the skill also means knowing some hacks, okay? Knowing some hacks that you can, that can help you to scale through. Now, one of these hacks is practicing with past questions. Now, a lot of students would just want to read study their manuals and their textbooks and all that. Very good. But then do you know that when you go through past questions of, let's say, 5 to 10 years backward, when you go through those past questions, you find out that you are able to think or reason in the same line with the lecturer. Now, get me here. You've studied your textbook. I'm not disputing the fact that you have to do that, but after doing that, you have to go through past questions, see how this man sets his questions, see his pattern of setting questions. It could help you to anticipate some questions. Okay, you are prepared. You know that, okay, his question, he twists his questions like this. Okay, he might repeat this. Yes, funny enough, most lecturers, they repeat their questions. So by the time you've gone through questions from 3, 4, 5 years, even up to 10 years back, there is no how you not see repetition. So if you can study those questions, you find out that you have gotten the mind of the lecturer. You've known how he sets his questions, you've known his standards, and you can prepare yourself to attack the questions. You see? So it really helps you understand the lecturer's mind, and then it helps you to anticipate questions. It lets you know the possible questions to expect. Then it depends on the lecturers. Most lecturers are so lazy that they would want to continue repeating their questions over. The strategy number three on how to bag an A in all of your courses is this: understand questions. Understand questions before you answer them. Now, see, so many of us, I don't know, even in tertiary institutions, you find this happening. So persons are always in a hurry to get out of the exam hall, and I don't know what they want to do outside, but they just want to leave the exam hall. They just want to leave that hot seat. But does it make sense? Well, sometimes it makes sense if you know what you are doing. But bros, if you don't, okay, let me just say, don't just be in a rush to leave the exam hall. Take your time. Take your time. Nobody's chasing you. Nobody will give you a trophy for being the first person to leave the hall. So why not take your time? Go through the questions, understand what they want. You see, even in tertiary institutions, you find a lot of persons answering off points, answering things off from what the lecturer wants. So why is it that an adult, like you are in the university, but you keep on answering questions like primary school kid? It's because you don't understand the question. Now I'm not bad mouthing anybody, and I'm not um shaming anybody. If it sounded so, I am so sorry. But what I'm trying to say is this: before you answer the question, take your time, read them over and over, try to assimilate the questions, and then answer them. Now, for me, what I do is when I get to the exam hall, I before I start writing any stuff on my answer sheet or answer booklet, what I do is I go through the question. Okay, this is number one question. State this, do that. Can I answer it? I think I can answer this. I'll circle it. I'll check the questions I can answer best, like those ones I'm very grounded at. So I'll circle those ones. Okay, and I am going to start with those ones. So that's the same thing that you should do. Find those questions for each time you get into the exam hall. Look at the questions. Those ones that you have good strengths at, start with those ones. Okay. Now, what this is very important, because if you don't start with those ones, if you go to the ones that you are not very strong at, you find out that you waste time in trying to analyze those other ones and then solving them. Before you know it, you've wasted so much time that you cannot even come back to the ones you know to do them well. So in order to avoid that, start with the ones you know very well, trash them, then you could battle for the remaining ones later. You understand? So that's one of the key things to do. Look at the questions you know, understand them, and then answer them. All right. Another thing is this: when you're writing, you should it's still pointing down to understanding the question. Now, sometimes you see questions like state the characteristics of, briefly discuss, list. You see, so a lot of students have this erroneous mindset that all of them means means list. No, when you are asked to list, you should list only. So don't go off point. That's what I'm trying to explain. Now, don't do what you were not asked to do. So you are asked to list the characteristics of living things. You list them: movement, respiration, nutrition, and the rest of them. So you list all of them, Mr. Niger D, right? After listing them, you end there because the question is list. But when they ask you to state is you list and explain. Don't just stop at listing. So some persons, when they're asked to state, they just list. And my brother, if you only list, the lecturer will give you half of the mark because he wanted you to list and explain. So you find out that, so when you list only, you end up having sliced marks. Okay, your marks are cut short. So you should know the difference between stating, listing, and then when they ask you to discuss is like throw more light on this. So talk about it, tell us more, tell us what you know. So you don't have to quote word for word what's in your textbook. So many persons like this cramming mentality. I think when you are asked to discuss, tell us from your own point of view, really. So tell us what you understand. Let me use that word. So tell us what you understand. Okay. So that's just it. Then again, one other mistake I find students doing is this: when they are asked to define, or okay, let's use definition now. They are asked to define something. For me, what I do is I define it. I give you the words. Photosynthesis is this. If there are equations attached or mathematical expressions or definitions of that same stuff, I will give it to you. And then if there are pictorial information, depends on how the question comes, I'll still give it to you. So in a nutshell, you try as much as possible not to be just, you try to give it extensively, right? Now, don't be too how do I put this now? Some lecturers don't want you to have so much words in your, don't be too wordy. Thank you. So give us the definition and then mathematical equations, attach it, right? If there are these diagrams to explain what you want to do, fine, you can do that. So the key is know where you're supposed to use it. Know where you're supposed to use it. Then when you write, please, this is one other key. When you write like you are teaching the examiner. So when I write my exams, I kind of take it that I'm talking to someone who is a layman. I'm talking to someone who perhaps have not heard of that concept I'm explaining before, or someone that's a newbie, right? So you are asked what is photosynthesis, or discuss photosynthesis, talk about photosynthesis. What do you understand by photosynthesis? Don't just give us the definitions that photosynthesis is this and then you end there. No, you could go on to explain it further. You understand? So you're telling the lecturer or whoever is marking it that yes, I understand this thing so very well. Now it impresses the lecturer or who the marker is. It impresses him or her that the person might want to give you an extra mark. That's a bonus tip there. So don't just be, I just want to be concise. Sometimes it helps, but sometimes it doesn't. Write as though you are teaching the examiner. And please, again, this is a disclaimer. Let me say this now. When you're doing your stuff, your exam, when you're writing your exams, please don't try to impress the person. How do I explain it? But don't try to be like you want to show yourself so much that you begin to go off point. Please, this is what they want you to do. Talk about photosynthesis, no digressions to erosion. So you should remain on point, right on point. This is what they want from you. This is what you give to them. Don't talk about erosion when you're supposed to be talking about photosynthesis. Don't talk about corrosion where you're supposed to be talking about something entirely different. You understand that? So try to be on point. And well, if you follow these tips sincerely, I am promising you that you're going to be bagging A's in all of your courses, minimally B's. Yes, it has worked. It is tested and proven, and it has worked for so many persons, including myself. So I'm giving this as a tip to you. Study before time. Understand yourself. Know what works for you, when it's the best time to study. Practice with past questions to understand the lecturer's mind. Then understand the questions before you answer. Don't be in a rush to leave the exam hall. Use your time, answer your questions well. Teach the examiner. And with that, you'll be perfectly fine. You'll be having all A's in your courses. Thank you for staying tuned. I know you've gotten some ideas, right? You've gotten some inspirations, and so please do well to like this video, subscribe to this channel, because we're getting more of these. Share it with your friends.